All right, we are live. Let me just do like a reminder. Please give me some minutes. All right, I think we have. Please, if you are, I can see four people on the call now. Please just drop a comment. Just say hi so that we can recognize you. And then, all right. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for joining. Let me just set. About sending a reminder to the three guys so that we have. All right. Thank you so much. Data is fun. Please, I can see seven people here. Please just drop a comment. Okay, I think others will. Please just drop a comment. Okay, Precious, thank you. Nice to have you here. All right. Good evening, everyone, and I'm glad to welcome us to the seventh, no, sorry, the fourth edition of this Data Chronicles. So, Data Chronicles fourth edition. And I know that this is going to be a very fantastic session. This is a session that I've been looking forward to because the person joining us today is someone I've known for a couple of years, and his wealth of experience is something to really tap from, right? I'm just going to introduce him briefly before we start the session. So, my guest today is Christian Oragwa. Is the CTO, Chief Technology Officer at SnapNet Limited. Is driving technological transformation and innovations. At least I've worked with him, and he was my team leader at that time. So he is someone that you can really glean on for knowledge in terms of technological transformation, innovations, business intelligence, process automation, customer CRM, generative AI, ML. I'm just going to read some of his certification. He's highly certified. He's a Microsoft certified Dynamics 365 fundamentals, Power Platform fundamentals. He's a Microsoft certified trainer. He's a Power Platform app maker associate, Microsoft certified, Azure fundamentals, Microsoft certified. I can keep reading on and on. He's a Power Platform maker participant. He's a Microsoft certified Power Platform functional consultant, Azure data analyst, Microsoft certified, Azure data fundamentals, Dynamics 365 by LinkedIn. It's a lot. I think what I'm seeing here is over 40. So he's really a veteran. And when he speaks with so much authority. And that's one thing I like about him. And he takes his time to really explain, right? Explain from the granular level. So because you notice that people have been bringing here are people that take their time to not just there are people that teach, they know how to teach. Let me put it that way. So and Christian is one of such leader. He's a leader in the tech world, and we are really glad to have him today. Thank you so much, Christian, for honoring this invitation, and we hope, yeah, we will be able to glean as much as we can from you today. I don't know if you just
No
want to
worries.
say something in introduction. Yeah.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting
Thank
everyone today. Like Michael has said, my name is Christian Aragui. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at SnapNet Solutions. At SnapNet Solutions, we're one of Microsoft Tier 1 partners in Nigeria. Um, Some of our core competencies speaks to data analytics and AI, business process automation, CRM deployment, ERP deployment, software development, cloud consulting, and we do a good number of things around tech, right? In general. Good enough, I've known Michael for close to 3 years. We worked together when I was still the team lead for data analytics and AI at SnapNet. Michael was very instrumental in a good number of projects that we did as a BI developer. Magic Mike.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
So going into what we have for today, our key topic that we'll be talking about will be around the future of data professionals in the age of AI. For me as a person, that cuts across a good number of verticals that we need to look at. First off, just a brief introduction of what we're going to cover. We'll talk about the past and present of what we've seen or transition that we've seen in the data field. Then we'll go into the future changes that we expect, or like we say in the AI field, we predict, right? We
Mm,
want to predict the next 20 years. Then, what are the opportunities and challenges that we faced in our competitive tech space? Because we know those of us who have been in the data and AI field, we know that it's highly competitive, right?
mm,
Every day, technology is evolving. There are new techs, new frameworks, new
mm,
um, cloud tech, hardware tech that is coming out that is heavily empowering AI.
mm,
So, one of my good quotes I would like to say is adaptability is the secret to staying relevant in the ever evolving tech world. And
mm,
as anyone who is in the tech field, you need to ensure that you're able to unlearn and
mm,
relearn, right?
mm, mm,
What we know in the tech space in the last 10 years has changed, right? So giving us inference to what we have in the early 2000s, right?
mm, mm,
In data space, what we had then was just your data administrators and data analysts, right? What did they used to do as at that time? It was
mm,
just your relational database, right? And Excel-based analysis that used to have people do as at then, right? So what was the key focus at that particular point was just descriptive analytics and reporting, right? Being able to access your data, your business data, build some BI reports that says, for example, what was our current sales volume this week or daily or in
mm,
the last month or year to date or month to date or in the best year over year, right? Or in the last 5 years or 10 years. Those kind of historical reports was what was being done in the early 2000s, right? And some of those one of the key things that basically hindered business intelligence as at that particular point
mm,
was that we had limited automations, right? So, in the point of processing, so basically, we either export data from their legacy systems in Excel spreadsheets, post it somewhere, the data analyst will go in, do some reports from it. Or if you're lucky, you have a very good BI developer. The person will go in there, build some SSIS packages that will pick those reports, transform them, do ELT, and load it into a database for your BI
mm,
or data analysts to go in there to do their analysis, right?
mm,
So all
mhm,
those processes were manual and labor intensive, right?
mm,
You couldn't effectively do automation. Well, as time started going on, we had some form of automations that came up within those OEM tools like your SQL Server, Oracle DB that people used to use as at then. For SQL servers, that was what brought about the BI tool. So your SSIS, SSAS, SSRS, right? SSIS helping you to build your SSIS packages for ETL processing. SSAS for you to build your tabular models, for you to be able to build cubes, data mats, data cubes. Then we had SSRS for on-premise reporting services and the likes. So as things started to graduate and technology began to evolve, we now saw changes in those particular roles. So we had a broader spectrum instead of just having data analysts and database administrators. We now had a larger spectrum, right? So we now
Mm,
started
mm,
having data scientists, data engineers. So your database administrator evolved into data engineers, right?
mm,
So for
mm,
data
mm,
engineers now,
mm,
they don't
mm,
have they don't have to stick to just on-premise deployment, right? We now have the
mm,
cloud. We have compute on the cloud for you to be able to do your data processing, right, at scale. Now, this also transformed into uh, big data, right? So we now started
mm,
utilizing cloud platforms such as your Azure, AWS, right,
mm,
for
mm,
hosting big data. And you know the way big data is, the different characteristics, right? The five V's, right? Velocity, volume, veracity, and the likes, right?
mm,
Varieties. So we now started having varieties of data. So we started having, instead of structured data as you find in the early 20s, early 2000s, we now started having um, unstructured data, semi-structured data, and structured data. So as a data engineer, you now have to deal with these three different types of data. You have to
mm,
build data infrastructures that will be able to host these different data. So your traditional data warehouse now evolved into modern data warehouse that allows you
mm,
to be able to host these different data types. So
mm,
building on that, right? Now that we had that for evolution from the data administrator role, we also had some form of evolution from the data analyst role. So data analyst role then evolved into a bigger spectrum. Started having data
mm,
analysts, started having data scientists, started having AI engineers. Then in the AI field, we started having specializations, NLP,
mm,
chatbot solution, right? Python developer. So we started having an evolution in that role, right? So we no longer had data analysts, right? Only data analysts. We now started having all these different AI roles coming up,
mm,
right?
mm.
So as a result of that, we started having transition from on-premise to cloud deployment or
Without-
hybrid
mm,
deployments, right?
mm,
So that's the current state we have in our current um, timeline. Let me put it that way. So
mm,
these different roles, right, as a result of evolution, right, we now started having cloud, hybrid, and a large improvement in the machine learning frameworks, right? So we started having
mm,
TensorFlows, PyTorch, real-time data processing, right? So each and every one of these different setups that we had or technologies that came as a result of evolution in the data space now brought us into being able to utilize AI to do predictive analytics. So previously, all we could do was just analyze
I think your network. Christian, can you still hear me? I think your network is breaking. Please confirm you can hear me in the comment section, guys. Just drop um, the comments to affirm that you can hear me. Think his network. Guys, please confirm you can. Okay, yes, you can hear me. Correct. Okay. Let me. I'm trying to reach him. Think is his network basically. He will be back. All right. Okay. Thank you. So he will be back. I've messaged him, but I believe we are we are catching something already. So he's been explaining. So just as a recap, he's been trying to explain the evolution. Now today we have data analysts, we have BI analysts, we have BI engineer. Let me tell him to rejoin. Sorry. We have BI engineers, we have data engineers, we have analytics engineer now, correct? So he's trying to now give us like the past. What do we have in the past? In the past, most of the ETLs we do was with SSAS. Okay, he's back. Hi, Christian. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Sorry, I had a network glitch. Sorry
Yeah,
about
I
that.
see that. So I was trying to just do a recap before you continue that. Then he was explaining that yes, we started with for ETL. What was ETL? ETL is extraction, transformation, and load. What we were using basically in the past was the SSIS, SSAS, SSRS. SSIS is integration services, AS is analysis services, and reporting services. And even some company even use the reporting services for their reporting with compared to what we have today as Power BI and the rest now. So then he was explaining that then before now we have database administrators as the people in terms of in charge of cleaning this data and then loading this data and the rest. But it has transitioned now in the current world as data engineers, and then today we now have data analysts splitting into data scientists, BI analysts, and the rest. So that's just a recap of what he has said so far in case you missed it. He's back now, so you can take it off from there. Yeah. Thank you so much, Christian. Hello, Christian. Can you hear me? You can go ahead now.
All right. So, right, following up with the recap, right? So we've had this. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. So we've had this transition, right, between
Mm.
these different roles, and currently in our present timeline, what we have is improvements from doing data analysis from a descriptive or diagnostic point of view into doing predictive analytics or prescriptive analytics, and also adopting low code or no code platforms for faster deployments and automation, right? So, with AI, currently what we are doing is being able to perform automation.
I think his network is quite bad. Please confirm you can hear me again, just to be sure it's fine on my end. We'll be back. So, like you were saying, okay, just to buttress what you were saying again. So then, you said we now have BI. Even today, we now have analytics engineer. People are now saying, oh, instead of having just a data engineer, can we get something that bridges data engineers and data analysts? Then we say, okay, you can just do the ETL side of things, and then you can do analytics side of things. Then we can call you analytics engineer. So things are evolving, and when he joins back, he will buttress more. And that is why I tell people, ensure you are very strategic in positioning yourself for future opportunities. So say for example now, um AI is moving. If you are checking, welcome back, Christian. Just if you are checking the job market now, you see that people are delving towards AI. Companies in the US, even if you check some job, you see that companies in the US are delving towards AI. So, and it's very important that you are strategic. Christian, please, you can continue just trying to fill in before you join back.
Right, thank you. So, with what we have currently, right, we have AI being utilized in different areas, right? We've seen that we are having an explosion, right, of AI use cases in businesses. So you have Copilot, your RAG, right? You have areas where um, we are having improvements, right? Using AIs for optimization of business processes, using AIs for improvements for productivities, right? So, with each and every one of these use cases, you're having greater efficiency in your business processes. You're having more complex data models to deal with, right? But the good thing is that AI is here to stay. And as a data professional, what you need to do is for you to find out how you can infuse AI into what you do as a data professional. So typical use cases would be using AI for your day-to-day operations or repetitive tasks that you do, so as to carve out enough time for you to focus on more um, real-time work, right? Or
mm,
value
mm,
add work that you can do,
mm,
right?
mm,
So what you need to do as a data professional, right, is to check out the different tasks you do as a person, right? And see which particular tasks that you can use AI or infuse AI into to help you fast track that particular process and save you time as a professional, right? So, as a professional, what they expect from you is for you to be able to deliver your processes or your projects as at when due, right? So it's very important, right?
mm,
Now we've talked about the past, we've talked about the present. Now, what about the future? What does the future hold for us as data professionals? One
mm,
key thing is that your data roles are going to become AI centric, and you're going to have
mm,
AI centric roles that would come up, right? Now, as a person, seeing very good use cases, OpenAI. OpenAI came out in 2022, between 2022 and today, right? We've seen massive improvements in that AI model, right? We've seen a massive shift in generative AI. We've seen massive shift in generative AI use cases across all OEMs like Microsoft, AWS, GCP, Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud. Every single person, even in SaaS applications, right? We recently
mm,
launched one of our products, AC Matrix, and it has AI built into it, right? And we are
mm,
still also looking at good number of AI use cases that we're going to infuse and AI models are going to infuse into that particular product or solution, right? So, what should you do as a person, right? Looking at the future, you're going to
mm,
have AI centric roles that will come up, such as AI ethics officers, data quality auditors, right? So, you're going to be seeing a very different utilization of technical staffs, right,
mm,
who will be utilizing AI. So, what should you do as a person, right? You're going to
mm,
see that you need to find a way for you to master AI, right? You're
mm,
going to
mm,
have masteries in machine learning. You need to
mm,
also find out about AI ethics, right? Something with term responsible AI, right?
mm,
How to utilize AIs in certain use cases of businesses, what AI should have, what kind of data AI should have. So data privacy is also going to be a very good thing. And as a
mm,
person, you also need to have cross-disciplinary skills. You need to have
mm,
business skills, communication skills, presentation skills,
mm,
business acumen, right? Those
mm,
are key
mm,
things that you need to have as a person. So,
mm,
like I've mentioned, we have a good number of trends in real-time analytics, predictive and prescriptive solution. That is what people are looking for, or businesses are looking for, right? You need to build your skill sets around those areas. If you're just starting out in AI, good enough, start out, know the technology, know the basics, know your programming languages, right? To help you to be able to play in that particular space.
mm, mm,
So, and also, you also need to look at how you can integrate generative AI into whatever data solution or services that you prefer as a data professional. So, these are key areas you need to look at as a person, right, or as a person in the data space. So, this we're looking at near future, right? You also need to look at the next 20 years. In my own opinion, I'm not even looking at the next 20 years, because in the next
mm,
20 years now,
mm,
you're going to
mm,
have so much improvement. When I
mm,
saw Copilot, when I saw Microsoft release Copilot, I just
mm,
said the future of AI is here. There's nothing you want to do again to change it. What came to my
mm,
mind was that
mm,
that picture of Tony Stark and Jarvis, right? Tony has very good technology acumen, right? So use
mm,
yourself as a data professional. You have very good technology acumen, right? And you have an AI tool, you have a copilot that is helping you to speed up different things that you do as a data professional, right? Automated data storytelling, automated data cleansing and preparation of data, automated data orchestration of your data pipelines, automated AI model training, preparation, model deployment, right? All those
Hmm.
different things. So just picture yourself, right, as a person who has an AI tool that can speed up your processes. And that is where we are going to with AI, right? And
Hmm.
that's where we are
Hmm.
going to with
Hmm.
AI. So
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
a person, just think
Interesting.
about it from that perspective, right? I'm Tony Stark, and I have Jarvis. I have an AI tool that helps me to be able to fast track all the different things that I do as a person in the data space. So, what is going to be the transformational shifts that we are going to see in the next 20 years? And funny enough, we are already there, right? I will use
Hmm.
Microsoft as a very good use case because what Microsoft has done is that they've infused Copilot in a good number of their platforms, right? Their solutions.
Hmm.
Power Platform, you have Copilot across it. You have Copilot in Power Apps, Copilot in Power Automate, you have Copilot in Power BI. You also have Copilot in Azure. You have Copilot in Windows. You have Copilot in Dynamics 365. So with
Hmm.
Copilot,
All
you're already
across.
having
Hmm.
exactly. So you have AI driven orchestration, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
currently across, let's say, like for example, with Power Automate, Copilot in Power Automate, all you need to do is you can prompt the Copilot, right, to be able to help you design a flow, right? At least give you the skeletal structure of how that flow is going to be, right? And from there, with your own technology acumen, right, in Power Platform, you can go through the flow that it has created for you, review it, and see if there are changes you need to make,
Absolute change.
and you're done, right?
That's it. Car.
That already saves you a good number of time for you to start building all those different things by yourself. So like I said, transformational shifts you're going to see is you're going to see AI driven orchestration of data technologies, right? You're going to see increased reliance on AI to fast track those particular processes. Those are some, a good number of them can be repetitive, right? Then new technology that you're going to see improvements, right? Where you're going to see more utilization will be quantum computing, right? Quantum computing currently we use it. A good number of use cases is in research, right? Medical research, biomedical research, right? Where you need rapid data processing, right?
Hmm.
So, but that particular field is going to see a major expansion, right? Now, look at what NVIDIA has done, right, with their chips, right, with their
Awesome.
GPU chips, right? So, you're going to see massive improvements in data or parallel processing for your data processing, right? You're going to see very massive improvements. So,
Hmm.
quantum computing, right? Some of the new technologies, or let me say technologies that is going to see a good number of improvement on. Advanced NLP, that's your natural language processing, right? So you're going to have more advanced NLP models that will be coming out, right? So we've seen a good number of them, text to speech, text to PowerPoint, text to video, text to video editing, right? So you're going to see more advanced NLP models that will come out, right? So that's one going to be one of the areas where you're going to see a good number of evolution, right? Technology improvements there. So what are the implications to the workforce, right?
Hmm.
In the next 20 years, right, what you're going to be see is improvement. You're going to see more emphasis in strategic oversight rather than manual data improvement or processes that will be done by the data professionals, right? So what you need is somebody who has a blend of technical expertise and ethical oversights, right, of what the AI model is doing, right? So
Hmm.
you can run a prompt, right, and that's where responsible AI comes in. You run a prompt, telling the AI model what you need it to do, actions you need it to take, right? You review, optimize your prompts, and then you allow it to initiate. Once it initiates, what you do is being the technology professional, what you're doing is you're supervising what the AI model is doing, right? So remember what I said, Tony Stark. He initiates the process, it speaks to Jarvis, Jarvis listens, does speech to text, receives the prompt, processes it, and acts on the prompt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once it does that, what Tony does is look at the output, review it, figure out, okay, this part is okay, this part is not okay, you get, and then moves on with the output, right? So basically, that's what you're going to be doing as a data professional. It's going to be a blend of technology oversight. You being the data professional, you know all the technical uh, technologies, you have the competencies and all of that, right? But what you're going to be doing is technical and ethical oversight, right? In the next 20 years, that's what you're going to see. That's what the shift, the technology shift is going to be. So you would also see expansion in regulations and compliances, right? That will come in
Mm.
because you need to ensure data privacy, you need to ensure ethical uses of AI, right? So that's what I remember. Was it early this year or last year? There was this argument that happened between some of the tech giants, right?
Mm.
Elon Musk, the CEO
Google.
for Google, right? And Microsoft also, and some other tech giants that are really into the AI space. And they were talking
Mm.
about ethical uses of AI, right?
Mm.
Because with the
Mm.
amount of improvements we are seeing, how are you going to ensure whatever AI model or generative AI model that is being built is used in the right way, is used for the right purpose, right? So if I'm building a model that is supposed to do or make certain actions, I hope it's not going to go and get nuclear codes
Mm.
to do something wrong,
Yeah.
all right? So all those things need to be in check, right? So you're going to see AI governance going to, there may even be like a code of conduct, right? That is going to come in. So in the next 5, 10 years, you're going to see an expansion in regulations for compliance and also like data privacy, ethical use cases. So this is what is going to happen, right? Because you're going to have a good number of use cases where AI is being used across business processes, right? So as a data professional, you need to start thinking in that direction, right? AI, ethical, just when you have ethical hacker or ethical hacking, you may start
Mm.
having ethical AI, right?
Yeah.
As
Users.
a
Data
recruit
auditing
or professional
specialists. Yeah.
or
Engineers.
professional. Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. That will come up, right?
Mm.
So that's what you need to start thinking. How do I use AI in my processes as a data professional, right? Good enough. We've talked about AI, what it will look like in the next 20 years. Now,
Mm.
there are challenges, right, that data professionals are going to face. And this has been going on for a good number of years. You have a saturated tech space, and as
Mm.
a person,
Mm.
you need to find out how you're going to distinguish yourself, right?
Mm.
First off, you should remember that there's high competition for whatever role you're coming into data. You say, I've seen, some people will go and check Glassdoor now, see what is written on Glassdoor for that particular data room. Good enough, right? But remember that there are a good number of people who are coming into that particular role. A good number of people who have
Exactly.
been in that particular role for years.
Exactly.
Some people have been
Mm.
in data role for 5 years, 10
Yes.
years,
Mm.
15 years,
Mm.
20 years.
Mm.
They've gone through every stage of evolution that's happened,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So, how do you distinguish yourself, right, as a person in the data space? You need to do certain things, and that cuts across. First, you need to ensure that you're sound, right? Technology wise, for whatever role you're going into, you need to, if possible, specialize, right? Have a broad knowledge, right? Level 100 or level 200 knowledge across your data
Mm.
space, and then specialize in a particular area. So I think they call it a T-shaped professional, right? So try as much as possible to be a T-shaped professional, right? So also find out how you
Please,
can
can you repeat
perform
that
some
T
form
shape?
of
What do
automation.
you call the structure? Sorry, please.
T-shaped, like T-shaped, T-shaped, T hyphen shaped, a
What does that
T-shaped
entail?
professional.
What does that entail, please?
So that means just the way you have the T, right? So what it means is basically you have broad knowledge of certain verticals, right? So let's say, for example, in the data space, you know about data analysis, you know data engineering, you know AI, right? Machine learning, data science. You have broad knowledge across board, and then you have depth, right? T-shaped. You have depth
Mm.
of expertise, right? So try to be a T-shaped data professional, right? It will help you very well to be able to distinguish yourself as a person in the data space. So what are the strategies to stay relevant? Continuous skill development in AI, data engineering, and cloud compute. Because the reason why I selected these three areas is first, we're in the era of AI, you need to build your skills in AI. Now, regardless of whether you're a data professional or you're a data analyst, a AI engineer, or whatever, as a data engineer, you are not going to lose relevance as far as I'm concerned, because
Mm.
that data estates, right? The technology infrastructure that will host the data, that will be able to do the AI models and all of that requires data engineers to build those infrastructures, right? Whether they're on the cloud, whether they are hybrid setup, right? So as a data engineer, you're not going to lose relevance in the next 10, 15 years at least. We don't know what will happen, right? But
Mm.
build competencies, right, in data engineering, learn a cloud, um, provider, right? Cloud service provider. So maybe Azure, AWS, GCP, Oracle Cloud, right? Pick
Mm.
one of them and learn how to use the platform. The good thing with learning the platform is that when you learn that particular platform, you can switch to another platform, right? So the only difference will just be the kind of services, the names of the services, how to implement those services. But you already have good knowledge, right, on a particular one. So let's say, for example, you're good with Azure, right? Using Azure to do your data infrastructure or AI models and the likes, you can effectively switch to the AWS. All you need to do is to find the corresponding services across board, learn how it is used, and all of that. So you just have some learning curve to do, right? But as much as possible, learn a particular cloud service provider, right, and their services. Then one other way to stay relevant is specialization in a niche field, right? Specialization in a particular field, right? Could be AI ethics or AI enabled business consulting, right? So, like I said, AI is going to be infused in business processes. If you find out how to consult for people, right, to basically push them to become an AI enabled environment or business, then that's also one way you can stay relevant, right? So, there's also this part where we have some key arguments, right? And these key arguments has to do with what do we need to do, because now some people are saying AI is going to take our jobs. AI is going to take our jobs. You get,
Mm. Mm.
excuse me.
That part is
So
key.
what do you do, right? Because uh, truthfully, AI may replace some jobs.
Mm. Mm. Fact.
truthfully, truthfully, there are some job roles that will become non-existent as a result of AI, but there are new job roles that will come into existence as a result of AI. So typical use case is prompt engineering. Before ChatGPT came in, nobody knew what prompt engineering. It didn't exist at
Mm,
all,
mm,
right? But
at all, at all.
when ChatGPT came in, we started finding out that this is a new role, AI prompt engineering or AI prompt engineer or prompt engineer, right? And we've seen some job roles leave, right, as a result of the AI thing. But one key argument I will need to say is this: just remember that AI cannot entirely replace human. It's the fact, right? Because data professionals possess unique analytical skills and creative problem solving abilities, right, that AI cannot replicate entirely, right? So when you do like a human versus AI kind of comparison chart, right? Good enough, AI excels in pattern recognition and repetitive tasks, but humans are essential for complex decision making and strategic thinking and innovation,
Mm,
right? So all you need to do is just find a blend in between. Um, AI, yes, it's a machine. It's very good at pattern recognition and the like. There are certain tasks you need to leave to AI, and there are certain tasks you now need to leave to your technical professionals, right? You know, some people are very scared. You're coming to do automation, you're coming to take our work. No, don't think from that perspective, right? What you need to think about is there are specific manual tasks that we can give an AI tool to do for us, speed up the delivery time, allow our professionals or our data professionals spend more time in complex decision making, strategic thinking, innovation, right? Let them spend their time doing that. And also specialize in fields. I've said this specialization a good number of times. Remember, specialize in fields. Make sure you specialize in fields. It's very, very important, right? And like I've said, good opportunities, right? Um, you need to expand, right? All the different roles that we currently have, your data analyst, data engineer, data scientists, AI engineers, AI specialists, and all of that. So you're going to see another reshuffling that will happen as AI use cases or generative AI use cases come into play. So be opened, be open to learning, be open to self-improvement. It's very needed. So, wrapping up on that, right? What you need to do as a data professional is for you to adapt and innovate, right? Adapt
mm,
and be innovative. Adapt, be innovative. You know, some people will say, I use pandas, or pandas and Seaborn is what I use.
mm,
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 don't
mm,
eat there. Oh. Some people say it's
mm.
pandas that I know. There are other things better than pandas. So I think there's this new one that has come out. I think it's polars. Polars is
Polars.
better than pandas. People will say yes, there's
And
polars.
it's still like a library in Python.
Yes, it's a library in Python, right?
Wow.
It's better at big data processing than pandas.
Wow. Compared to
People tell me,
pandas. You see?
the only difference is just that pandas has been around for a long time, so they have a broader or a bigger community, right, than
Mm,
polars, right? But polars, very, very, very good, right? Polars, very, very good. It's also one other framework we should also try to learn, right? We
mm,
should also try
mm.
to learn. So,
Hmm. Okay.
like I said, adapt. When what you need to do as a person is when there are changes or new technologies that come in, find out how you can learn them, right? So that you're still relevant. You know the previous one, you know the new one. If your company decides to change to the new one, you're not left behind, right? So, because every single year, as far as I'm concerned, what we should always do as a person is every single year try and find out what are the new things that are coming in your data space. Because I'm telling you, with the way technology is going, it's almost like the way how Apple used to release their products every year in September, October period. Like that's how things are going to be changing. If you're not careful, it may be like a 9 months or 6 months period that new changes are happening, right?
Mm,
So
mm,
as much as
mm.
possible, try to be up to date. Try to be up to date. So Just to touch back, right? I've touched a good number of things. What are
Okay,
my
so
recommendations?
okay. I think before recommendation, thank you so much, Christian. There are a lot of questions that have been dropped there, and I would want us to like attend to some of them, maybe before recommendation. And yeah,
Okay,
even
so
personally, I've been learning so far with what you've been, saying. Is a lot of learning, and I must appreciate you for again for this opportunity. I have like 4 or 5 questions in the comments, but before I go there, let me just ask this. Now, what's interesting, what you said so far was that transition, you know, and it just came to my brain that wow, that is true. Before now, more of these big boys, the OEMs, they were more invested in the SSAS, SSIS, and all these Oracle database systems and the rest. And currently, there has been a shift, and I must tell you that there is something that one of these shift. I think the Africans, we Africans, I think we are not shifting well, is because there's something that happened of recent. These these fintech guys, the new ones in town, you see that the way their data, I was making some research for something. So the way their transaction is so fast, right? I went to a market to use one of them, and before I even have my receipt, before I even get that it's successful, the person has received a lot so fast. I was comparing it with another technology, a fintech company. I was trying to compare and to see what is the gap. And what I discovered was that these guys invested so much into this data infrastructure, transitioning not this all these old infrastructures. They are now into the cloud infrastructure, and that was really one of the key reasons why they had that fast transition and they had that fast transactions, and their system is so fast. So when you now
mhm.
mentioned that transition, that just came to my mind that I think this is an issue with some of the. And I remember listening to in Yaboyeji. I don't know if you caught that on channels. Was it channels or Arise now? And people were like on LinkedIn, they were just bashing that no, you don't understand African setting. So he was saying one of the reasons why most some of our big boys here, some of them that have left, the rest of Sontori and the rest that have left, and some of them that are still here, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. One of the reasons why they are facing serious issue is because he was mentioning that we are backward in terms of data. Sorry, it was general now. IT now, technology advancement. That we are still trying to solve current problem with old technologies, and that is not going to be
Technology, yes.
you know and that is one of the problems. They were saying no, people were saying, even technology people, they were saying no, he's not getting it right. Has he done any manufacturing before? He's doing a fit everything. And I reasoned with him because I went to the market to do this research, and when I compare that technology with what that particular fintech has, I tell you that this is a major issue. Now goes to my question: do you think someone has that similar, but his own question is not that streamlined in my own way now? So my question is, do you think Africans, because I'm particular about Africa now, do you think Africans are transitioning well into, we have database administrators now, data engineers, we have before now, more of, it's not even called data analyst that time, because I can remember that my current head of IT did not come into IT as a data person, but later on, you know, data came in and then they learned. So do you think we are transitioning well as Africans into this as this technology is evolving? Because now, like what you said, some of what we are learning, if you look at all the trainings all are here and there on LinkedIn and different training platforms, you see that most of the stacks that he's teaching is Python, Excel, all these banders and all that. Things are evolving. Do you think we are evolving well as Africans? Let me just put it that way. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. So I would say the transitioning is progressing, but not as fast as it needs to be, right?
Mm.
We have certain companies in Africa that have transitioned fully, right? We
Mm.
have some that are still on that journey. We have some that know they need to transition, but maybe they don't have the capacity yet to transition. And we have some
Mm.
people who are still in the dark, right?
Mm.
So we have some people who are still in the dark. They have no idea what's happening
So
in
what's the
the
percentage?
tech
Yeah,
space or in the
let me
data
keep that.
space at all. Well, I would say for people in Africa, right, that have transitioned, I can say maybe less than 20 or maybe around 20%, right, who have fully transitioned. And
Mm.
very much what he said is actually true, right? Because if you look at it, most OEMs are investing in their cloud computing resources, right? Or services, because majority of your data services, online services, AI services, and the likes have
Mm.
a lot of AI infused in them, right? It makes it
Mm.
much easier for them to be able to
Mm.
infuse those particular AI models effectively, right?
Mm.
So typical use case is your modern data warehouse, right? Your modern
Mm.
data warehouse can take care of all types of data sources, whether it's structured, unstructured, semi-structured, right? You can do that on with an on-prem effectively and scale your compute, right? Total cost
Mm.
of ownership less on the
Mm.
cloud than on-prem, right? Because typical use cases, you set up a physical server, maybe the physical server is around 100 terabytes of space,
Mm.
with the best compute as at that particular time. The next year, that particular server model is improved on, the compute is now 2 times better,
Mm.
right? By the third year, compute is now 4 times better, or 6 times better, or 8 times better, right? So
Mm.
why go with a physical server when you could go with a cloud virtual machine that when those improvements are made, you're not really affected, right? You can decide to scale your compute resources up or scale it down, scale it vertically or horizontally, whichever way you want, right? So handling your infrastructure on the cloud is much, much better, except when you're speaking about data compliance or data privacy, right? Maybe
Mm.
GDPR or NDPR policies, right, about how to handle customers' data, right? So that's maybe just be like some areas where people need to restrict pushing customers' data or information to the cloud, right? But nonetheless, compute resources is still the best, right? Especially when it comes to data, um, use cases and services, right? Compute resources on the cloud still the best, right? So
Okay.
I think you mentioned you wanted us to take some questions before we do like
Yeah. So let me, yeah. So let me go to the next because of our time. We have less than 10 minutes or so, but we'll ensure we take all those questions. Now, how do data is funny saying how do people here in Africa catch up? Yes, we use LLM models in solutions, but I feel we are left behind. So how do people here in Africa catch up? What's your take? Just in 1 minute.
Okay, so quickly, right? We have a good number of organizations in Africa, right? In Nigeria and in Africa abroad. We have those particular institutes doing free data trainings, right? We have some for data camp. We have some of them on Udacity, some of them on Udemy, right? What you need to do as a professional, right, is to do your roadmap. Where do I want to, what professional role do I want to be, right? So basically, you first need to draw your roadmap. If I'm starting out as a data analyst, learn the requisite skill set there, then maybe transition to a data engineer or transition to data science, transition to AI engineer or
AI
whatever. You need
compete.
to first draw your roadmap. When you draw your roadmap, you now need to find out resources that I can use to help myself. Some of them you can get on YouTube. So let's say we want to go free. Let's even look at that first. You have resources on YouTube. You have some uh, free code camp. You have several platforms that you can go to get free trainings, right? Free courses that you can help upskill. I think there used to be one called AfriBlock, right? That usually have a collaboration with DataCamp, right? You can go there, get access to their platform, be able to get access to DataCamp, and go through the requisite training, right? What you need to find out first, your roadmap. What do you envision for yourself? Build your roadmap, find out the various courses you can do, right? Stay updated to relevant courses, right? And join communities, right?
I get
Communities, join
that.
communities,
Mm,
data
mm,
communities. We have a good number
mm.
of them in Nigeria. You have DSN, you have ah, come on. Yeah, so the OEMs, right, also have communities, right? So like
Communities.
Microsoft has many communities for data engineers, Microsoft Fabrics, Azure, and the like. So every single OEM have tech communities that you can join, right? So that's also another way for you to build out your
Okay,
networking, right,
okay,
and the
okay.
likes.
Okay, thank you so much. Just to buttress that, but do you think after these learnings with this our not too fast transitioning, do you think even if you become, because there are three areas you highlighted now: AI, compute, and data engineering. Do you think these people, even after learning, do you have, because I've been in situations where you've learned, but the companies, most of the companies you are joining don't even have that infrastructure. Don't you think maybe jackpine or doing some other rerouting of your life will really help you to make it, because have that hands-on experience of what you've learned?
Yeah, so there are some companies that do virtual internship, right? Virtual internship that you can join, right? For you to be
Thank
able to
you.
get hands-on experience. There are certain companies where you can be able to find out how you can get trainings for them or do projects for them, right? So those are ways you can build competencies, or you can apply to companies that actually do tech consulting, IT consulting, right?
Mm, mm, mm.
If you want me to get hands-on experience, that's like my own opinion, right? And that is what has helped me, right? Consulting has helped me to be able to touch various
Fields.
industries, right? FSI, telco, finance, healthcare,
Finance.
and the likes video. So that consulting is one way for you to be able to have hands-on, right? For you to be able to have hands-on. So if you're able to do that, some people also do freelancing, right? That's also another way for you to be able to get hands-on, because with freelancing, you're going to interact with different sectors, different use cases, different pain points that
Mm,
companies or people have for which they need data. So with
mm.
that, be able to have ways for you to be able to get hands-on.
All right, thank you so much, Christian. So, the next question, still data is fun. He said, as a data engineer, what do you think the next phase will be? DevOps, is it going to be DevOps? When he's talking about DevOps, Terraform, Docker, and Kubernetes, what do you think the next phase will be as for a data engineer?
Perfect. So yes, right. As a data engineer, right, the next aspect of you it will be being able to automate your data estate, like I've said, right. So DevOps, right, will be like the next phase for you. You can do DevOps or DevSecOps, right. That's development security ops, right. So you
Mm,
can do that, right. So with DevOps, as a data engineer, if you have DevOps knowledge, you'll be able to automate your data infrastructure, orchestration, and the likes, right? So yes, DevOps will be the next area you should delve in on
all
data
right, okay.
engineering.
Okay, thank you so much. The next question is from Mary. He says, with AI getting more advanced, what advice do you have for someone who is looking to get into tech space? Well, okay.
Good. So irrespective of how advanced AI is going to get, it still boils down to your technical expertise. So, like I said, you are going to have a blend of human, right, and
Mm,
AI. So what you need to do first as a technology person is for you to first build your competencies, right?
mm,
When you build your competence, regardless of whatever AI tool that is going to be infused into your business, that
mm,
AI tool is basically helping you fast track your business processes or
mm,
optimize your business processes. But you still
mm,
need that technology expertise or knowledge
mm.
for you to be able to engage that particular AI tool or AI service that's been infused into your environment, right? So,
Okay.
what, like I've said, you need to first do your roadmap. Where do you intend to go or become, right?
Mm,
Your
mm.
becoming journey, right? You first need to have your roadmap. I want to learn this particular skill set. This will help me become a data analyst or a data engineer or a data scientist and all of that. So you need to do that roadmap. Once you do that roadmap, that already gives you your vision of where you are heading to, and then you align every other thing, like I've said.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me take one or two more in the next 1 2 minutes. So the Afola Ayola is saying, what advice do you have for professionals in a case of finding more in-depth application of their technical skills to a particular sector? This question is not that clear to me, but like, do you have what do you have for professionals in case
I
of
think
finding?
I addressed that. I think I addressed that with the virtual internship, right? Virtual internship, consulting, right? Freelancing, right? Because
Mm,
what you're
mm,
trying to do is for you to have as many use cases for you to apply what you've learned. If you don't
mm.
find a way to apply what you learned, knowledge gain will be lost, right? So,
And I think
like they
there are a
say,
lot
a
of them.
teacher,
Mm, mm,
yeah, so once you find ways for you to, you can even do teaching, you can do tutoring, you can teach, you can lecture other people, right? You can become
mm,
a certified trainer, like Microsoft certified trainer, do trainings. When you train people on those technology, it also helps reinforce your learning, right? Helps reinforce your learning. So those are very key things you need to do as a person. You need to find ways, right, for you to either freelance, um, virtual internships and the likes, right? You just need to find or consulting, right, or teaching, right? You need to find ways to apply. Another way some people also do it is portfolios, right?
mm,
Your data portfolio. So some people also do that to do self-created projects, right? So maybe like data analysts, we go and get data sets from Kaggle or Marvin Analytics, right?
mm.
Create their dashboards and all of that. What you're trying to do is finding ways for you to be able to uh, reinforce your learning. So, like I've said, internships, right? Internship, virtual internships, IT consulting, freelancing, teaching, right? You need to find your portfolios, right? You can do portfolios. So these are 5 areas that you can use to reinforce what you learned, right? So very good ways.
All right, thank you so much. I think you've done justice to a lot of them. And the last one is not really a question. So it was when you were talking about Polars as a tool, as a library that is better than Pandas compared to, yeah, Pandas. That's for especially for processing big data, right? So data is one is saying. How about PySpark? I think, yeah, PySpark is for cloud infrastructure, but maybe you can speak to that. Mm,
No, PySpark is also a good one. Yeah,
mm,
PySpark is also another good one, right? But what I was doing was more of a comparison between compute, right? Runtime as against pandas, right? So PySpark is
mm,
also another good one we can use when you're processing big data. A good number of people use it when they are doing utilizing Databricks or Azure Databricks, right? So PySpark is also another good one, right? So PySpark is
mm.
also
Okay.
another good one.
Okay.
You can but for me, Polars is very good, right? As in like compared to pandas, like from what I've seen from the documentation, Polars actually is better. So for a data professional, try finding out about Polars. It's a very good platform to learn.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, Christian. Thank you so much for this session. Just a bit of recap before you do the final recommendation. So I know you mentioned that to stay relevant, you focus on basically 3 areas because we said the past, the present, and the future. For the future, 3 key areas I said we have to focus on: AI, data engineering, and cloud computing. You also mentioned that you have to be ensure that you build yourself in a T-shape, be a T-shaped professional. You have depth, broad knowledge, and data in the data space. So that will really help as we move on. And one other thing that really caught my attention is that for future roles, these are the future roles we should look into. So if you are seeing roles around these areas, ensure you check the job description and then build expertise around that. You mentioned AI officers will come up, data auditing specialists will come up, AI engineers will come up, AI ethics professionals will also come up, and that these are the areas we should look into as much as we are learning the basic Excel, SQL, Python, the pandas and the rest. let's ensure that we are looking into the future. And I think these are the future rules we need to. Because, for example, currently I'm preparing for my AI engineer exam in few days, and what I've seen so far from different JDs around the world, I've seen that what you mentioned is really the key feature. Thank you so much for your time. So maybe you can go ahead with the recommendation, and then we can yeah,
Right. So
close.
what you should look at, right? Like I mentioned around the key technologies we should look at. You should also look at remembering that the future is heading towards a hybrid role setup of a blend of your technical expertise and
Mm,
ethical oversight of whatever AI model or tool you're using in your business. Then, speaking to what is going to be happening, right? So recapping on the past, in the past, what we used to have were simpler manual rules. In the present, we are having data and AI automation, right, with certain data rules. In the future, what you'll be having is human AI collaboration, ethical consideration for use cases of AI, and you're going to be having more strategic rules, right? You're not going to be having somebody sit down to come and be coding data pipelines and all of those things. There'll be AI tools to be doing that, right? And what the technical person is going to be doing is to be reviewing whatever has been built that it matches those particular setup, right? And what we should also do, remember, I've also mentioned the skills you need to develop for your networking, join professional communities. Remember that in our tech space, when you're in tech, it's a lifelong learning, right? Invest in certifications, stay updated with online courses and new trends, new technologies. And remember, adaptation is not an option, it's a necessity, right?
mm,
In this space. So please remember, don't run away from AI. Don't say AI is coming to steal our job.
mm.
Remember, embrace AI as a tool that complements your human expertise, right? Remember, I said you're the technology person, you're Tony Stark, you have Jarvis. Very simple, right? So, thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you so
Very
so much.
wonderful.
Thank you so
Yeah.
so much for your time.
You can share my
Mm.
profile with everyone. My
Yeah,
LinkedIn
okay. I
profile.
think
They can reach
that's
out to
key.
me.
Let me just do
Yeah, you
that now
can reach out to me. You
so that you
can
can
always
reach out.
reach out to me. Yeah.
One
So you
minute,
can always reach
please.
out.
Let me do that. So you can reach out to him for guidance, for help. He's someone that will always is always very interested in the growth of newbies and upcoming professionals. I'm going to drop that here now. So just I'm dropping his profile here. Okay.
Am I able to put that in? Link.
Yeah, you can see the comments, right? Okay, okay. I think this is better.
I can.
Yeah, this
Am
is.
I able to get it?
Yeah, I'm able to drop now. What do you say?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so I've dropped that now, so you can reach out to him. So, yeah, thank you so much for your time. Please, can you just drop in the comments or just say thank you? It's been a lot of I've learned a lot, and even an experienced person will learn from this session. Especially those rules. Some of the things he has mentioned. So, thank you so so much. Thank you so so much for your time, and I hope we'll take it up from here and then take all that he has said and work with it. And at least as we march towards 2025, it's going to be a new year of great opportunities. All right, I think we end it from here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Do have a lovely
All
time.
right.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
We are glad to have you. Yeah, bye.
No problem.